In the last video, we discussed what is the capacitor and how the capacitance of various capacitor calculated. जिसमें हमने parallel plate capacitor, spherical capacitor discuss किया था. So today we discuss what happened when a dielectric slab is inserted in a parallel plate capacitor. So as you see, we have a parallel plate capacitor for which the capacitance is equal to epsilon naught A by D when there is air between the plates and the initial electric field between the plates is sigma by epsilon naught. But now we insert a dielectric slab of thickness T in between the plates of capacitor. So as we know, due to the external electric field, that dielectric is polarized and it acquired negative and positive charge with respect to the applied external electric field. और ये जो अंदर वाला चार्ज है that will build a polarized electric field inside the dielectric slab. So inside the slab the electric field is external minus polarized electric field, because polarized electric field is just opposite to the applied electric field. We also know that for a dielectric medium whose dielectric constant is K, the electric field inside the medium is external electric field upon dielectric constant. That electric field acts in between the slab up to a distance T, and in the remaining distance D minus T, because D is the separation between the plate. So for D minus T distance, the electric field is still E naught. Now to calculate the total potential of the capacitor, we have to calculate the potential up to a region T and the potential up to a region D minus T. We are adding these potentials because these capacitors are in series. So from the formula of potential, V is equal to electric field in region T into the distance plus external electric field into the remaining distance. As we know, the electric field in the medium is also E naught by K. So the total potential is E naught by K into T plus E naught D minus T. Now we can take E naught as a common. So we get V is equal to E naught T by K plus D minus T. Now the value of external electric field is sigma by Q naught. So by putting this value, we get V is equal to sigma by epsilon naught D minus T plus T by K. So sigma is the charge density on the plates. So the value of charge density is equal to Q by A epsilon naught D minus T plus T by K. By putting that value in the new formula of capacitance, we get C dash is equal to V by Q. So if we put the value of potential over there, so charge is cancelled out and the new capacitance is equal to epsilon naught by A D minus T plus T by K. So if we compare the new capacitance with the previous capacitance, we observe that the new capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor will increase when we insert a dielectric slab. अगर हम इसके कुछ स्पेशल केस की बात करें, for that if that dielectric slab is completely attached with the plates of capacitor, or a parallel plate capacitor is completely filled with a dielectric of dielectric constant K, in that case the T is equal to D. So when T is equal to D, the new capacitance is equal to K epsilon naught A by D, which shows that the new capacitance is K times the old capacitance of parallel plate capacitor. So in the next case, we are going to calculate the capacitance of a capacitor when we insert a conducting slab between the plates. So initially we have a parallel plate capacitor of capacitance epsilon naught A by D, and the electric field initially between the plates is sigma by epsilon naught. Now, if we insert a conducting slab of thickness T in between the plates, then we know that inside a conductor the total electric field is always 0. Therefore, there is no electric field acting in the region T. So, the 0 electric field is acting up to a distance T, and in the remaining distance d minus T is already the external initial electric field. So again, the total potential, which is the sum of the potential in the region T and in the region d minus T, we get from the formula of potential, that is 0 into T plus E naught d minus T. So the total potential with conducting slab is equal to E naught d minus T. Then from the formula of electric field, that is sigma by epsilon naught, so the net potential is sigma by epsilon naught d minus T. By putting the value of charge density, which is equal to charge upon area, we get Q by A epsilon naught into d minus T. Now, so the new capacitance C dash is equal to Q by V. By putting the value of potential, we get the new capacitance is equal to epsilon naught A by d minus T. Again, if we compare the initial capacitance of the capacitor with the final capacitance with the conducting slab, again we observe that the capacitance of the capacitor will increase when we insert a conducting slab. If we assume that the plates of capacitor are completely filled with a conducting slab, or a conducting medium is completely filled inside a capacitor, in that case the T is equal to D and the capacitance of the capacitor become infinite. So it can store infinite amount of charge. Now we discuss two particular conditions when a dielectric slab is inserted between a capacitor, because in different conditions the results of various parameters of a capacitor is different. So first we discuss what happens when a dielectric medium is inserted between the plates of capacitor when it is remain connected with the battery. So when battery of the capacitor is connected, then its potential remain constant. So the first thing we have to know, the potential of the capacitor remains constant till the battery is connected. Second, as for the capacitance, we discussed in the recent case that the new capacitance with the dielectric slab is increased by k times. So the new capacitance is k time more than the initial capacitance. So capacitance of the capacitor will increase. Third, the charge stored by capacitor, so the charge is equal to capacitance into potential. As we know, the potential is constant and the capacitance will increase, then the charge storage of the capacitor is also increased. Fourth, the electric field between the plates, so as we know the electric field is equal to V by D. So the separation of the plates remain same, the potential remains same, so the electric field is also remain constant. Now the fifth case, that is energy stored by capacitor, which is U is equal to half C V square. So as the potential is constant but the capacitance will increase, so the energy storage of the capacitor is also increased. The second condition is that what happens when a dielectric is inserted between the plates of capacitor when the battery is disconnected. So when battery is disconnected, that means the charge stored by capacitor is constant because there is no other option to share the charge. So the first thing is the total charge remain constant. The second point is, as we know, the capacitance increase k time the initial capacitance, so the capacitance will increase. The third, that is the potential. So potential is equal to charge stored by the capacitance, as charge is constant but the capacitance increase, so the potential of the plates is drop. Fourth, if we discuss about the electric field, which is equal to V by D, so the distance of the plates remains same but the potential drop. So if the potential drop, the electric field will also decrease between the plates of capacitor. And the fifth, we have the energy stored, that is half Q square by C. So as the charge is constant but the capacitance of the capacitor increase, so the energy storage will also decrease when dielectric inserted without battery. Okay, now let's discuss the various cases to calculate the capacitance of a capacitor when it is filled with multiple dielectric medium. So we have the first two cases as an example. So let we have a parallel plate capacitor whose capacitance is epsilon naught A by D. In the first case, the half portion of the capacitor is filled a dielectric medium of dielectric constant K1 and the remaining half is filled with a dielectric medium of dielectric constant K2. As you see the system, it behaves like two capacitors connected in a series. So the charge of both the capacitor is same and they have different potential. But if we consider about their capacitance, so the capacitance of first capacitor is K1 epsilon naught A D by 2. So the new distance is D by 2 and due to dielectric the capacitance multiply with K1. So it will be equal to 2K1 epsilon naught A by D, and that epsilon naught A by D was the initial capacitance of the capacitor. So the new capacitance of the capacitor is 2K1 into initial capacitance. Similarly, if you want to calculate the capacitance of second capacitor, we get 2K2 into C. So by putting these two values in the formula of series combination, we can calculate the total capacitance of the capacitor. As we see in the second case, we filled two dielectric medium in different cross-section area of capacitor. So K1 medium is filled in the first half of the capacitor and K2 dielectric medium is filled in the second cross-section area of the capacitor. So the system behave like parallel combination of two capacitors. So if we calculate the capacitance of a capacitor, then it is equal to K1 epsilon naught A by 2 by D. K1 is due to medium and area of cross section become half, so A by 2. By solving it, we get K1 by 2 epsilon naught A by D. So epsilon naught A by D is the initial capacitance, so the final capacitance is K1 by 2 into C. So it is the capacitance of first capacitor. Similarly, the capacitance of second capacitor is K2 by 2 into C. By putting these two values in the formula of parallel combination of capacitor, we can calculate the total capacitance of the capacitor. There are some cases in which more than two dielectrics are used in different parameters. In most of the cases, when the separation between the plates of capacitor is divided by dielectric medium, then it forms the series combination of capacitor, and when the cross section area of the parallel plate capacitor is divided by dielectric, it will form parallel combination of the capacitor. To show that, we take two examples. So these are the two examples mentioned on the board. So in first case, we have three dielectric medium is filled in that way. So it is behaving like there are three capacitors in which the capacitor C1 is in series with the parallel combination of two capacitors C2 and C3. We can calculate C1, C2, C3 by putting the value of dielectric constant, cross section area and separation of the plates according to the capacitor. In the second arrangement of three capacitor, if you observe that capacitor C1 is in parallel with the series combination of capacitor C2 and C3. So by using the formula of capacitance, we can calculate individual capacitance, and by putting the value of individual capacitance, we can calculate the total capacitance of the system. So in these type of cases, maybe the distance and area is not equally divided, but you can calculate in the same manner by using the formula of capacitance. Now we discuss what happens when two capacitors are connected with each other. They try to acquire a common potential, for which the charge from higher potential capacitor to lower potential capacitor will flow to maintain the same potential. That's why the charge is redistributed when two capacitors are connected. So the capacitance of the capacitor remains same, the potential of the capacitor becomes same, but the charge is redistributed on the capacitor. To observe that, we have an example in which we have two capacitors of capacitance C1 and C2. The first capacitor is charged at potential V1 and it acquires a charge Q2. The second capacitor charged with a potential V2 and it acquires a charge Q2. So the charge on first is C1 V1 and the charge on second is C2 V2. As we know, there is no third capacitor or any conductor nearby, so the total charge Q1 plus Q2 is always remain conserved. So now when these two capacitors are connected, the charge move from the capacitor of higher potential to the capacitor of lower potential until the potential of both the capacitor become same. So for that, the new charge on first capacitor is C1V and the new charge on second capacitor is C2V. So from conservation of charge, we know that the total charge remain constant. That means Q1 plus Q2 is always equal to Q1 dash plus Q2 dash. So C1 V1 plus C2 V2 is equal to C1 V plus C2 V. So the common potential on both the capacitor is C1 V plus C2 V divided by C1 plus C2. This is the final potential on both the capacitor. Now if we want to find how the charge is distributed between these two capacitors, so we can compare the charge distribution by dividing these two values, that is Q2 dash by Q1 dash. We get C2 by V upon C1 by V. So potential is cancelled out. So finally we get the charge distribution among the capacitor is according to their capacitance. So higher the capacitance, higher the charge acquired. So as we discussed, the charge is redistributed when two capacitors are connected with each other. So during redistribution, when the charge flow, the work have to be done, and due to this work, the total energy of the capacitors will decrease. So now we are going to find the loss in energy during the redistribution of charge. So initially, when two capacitors are taken, their energy is half C1 square and the energy of second capacitor is half C2 V2 square. When these are connected, so after the combination, the energy on first capacitor is half C1 V square and the energy on second capacitor is half C2 V square. So the capacitance remains same, but the potential will change to acquire common potential. So to calculate loss in energy, we differentiate the initial total energy with the final total energy. So the loss in energy is equal to half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square, that is the initial energy, minus half C1 V square plus half C2 V square, that is the final energy. So by simplifying the given equation, we get change in energy is half common C1 V1 square plus C2 V2 square minus C1 plus C2 V square is common. So in the last case, we calculated the value of common potential for the combination of capacitor. So by putting these value, we will get half C1 V1 square plus C2 V2 square minus C1 plus C2 into common potential C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2 whole square. So this term is C1 plus C2 and this term is C1 plus C2 whole square. So one is cancelled out, and further simplification will provide half C1 V1 square plus C2 V2 square minus C1 V1 plus C2 V2 whole square divided by C1 plus C2. By taking the LCM, we obtain change in energy is half equal to C1 square V1 square plus C1 C2 V2 square plus C1 C2 V1 square plus C2 square V2 square. Then by solving that square, we get minus C1 square V1 square minus C2 square V2 square minus 2 C1 C2 V1 V2. So in the given terms, C1 square V1 square is cancelled out. Similarly, C2 square V2 square is cancelled out, and we obtain C1 C2 V2 square, C1 C2 V1 square and 2 C1 C2 V1 V2. So C1 C2 हम कॉमन ले सकते हैं. So now we have change in energy is equal to half C1 C2, the previous LCM C1 plus C2 into V1 square plus V2 square minus 2 V1 V2. So the loss in energy is half C1 C2 upon C1 plus C2 V1 minus V2 whole square. So you can memorize that formula. The loss during the redistribution of charges is half product of capacitance upon sum of capacitance into the square of difference between their potential. Now we discuss the concept of corona discharge. So when a charge is given to a conductor, it is distributed over its surface, and the charge density of the conductor is always equal to charge upon cross section area. For spherical capacitor, charge density is charge upon 4 pi r square, and the electric field of the charge sphere is sigma by epsilon naught, that is q upon epsilon naught 4 pi r square. So if the radius of that portion of the conductor is small, then the electric field of the conductor is high due to high charge density. So when charge is distributed over a conductor and it have a sharp edges, on that sharp edges, due to low radius, the charge density will increase, which also increase the electric field, and sometimes that electric field is so high that it can ionize the air present around it, and that concept is called electric breakdown, which we already discussed. So the ionized air take the charge away from the sharp edge of conductor and it get discharged. That kind of discharge is called corona discharge. So So to prevent that kind of phenomena, most of the conductor are made spherical in shape. As you observe, all the motors we use in different devices are also in spherical shape, so that there is no sharp edge and electric field never set up so high so that it can ionize the air. So these are the last few topics of this chapter. I hope these are clear to you. We make separate videos on conceptuals and numerical based on this chapter. So share the video and subscribe the channel for more informative videos. If you have any query, you can write in comment box or you can email us.